should be counted in the 2020 census?
Everybody.
Everyone.
Doesn't even matter where you're from.
Young, old, new to the country.
Little kids, babies.
This is probably the most important duty because it projects your voice.
Every single person counts.
In this time of social distancing, when taking a break from everyday life is critical to everyone's health, there is one thing we can all do together: complete the 2020 census. Your responses are critical to plan for the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Let's make a difference together by taking a few minutes to go online to 2020census.gov. It's for the well-being of your community and will help shape America's future.
Losing Hop is irreplaceable. Hop is a generational player. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say we can replace him, but that load is going to be split up and shared. We still have playmakers across the field. The type of team that we have in the unity with Defoe at quarterback, which anytime you have him at quarterback, we're always going to have a chance. But also the other playmakers that we have on the defensive side of the ball, offensively, being able to just spread the ball out more instead of being as one-dimensional. I think that's going to create opportunities.
Hi, I'm Patty Smith with the Harris County Houston Sports Authority, and welcome to this week's edition of Queued Up. The Q, of course, is for quarantine, and we're not all quarantined anymore. We're loosening things up, but hopefully you all are being safe when you are out there. Now, for those of you that are staying home and gaming together, which is our hashtag gaming together and sending in videos in partnership with our Houston Outlaws, we will be showing you our favorite video submissions at the end of this episode. But up tonight, a very special guest, Houston Texans Justin Reid, and for the first time ever, a live in-studio audience. Maybe not in studio, but a live Zoom audience. We sent out a little call to action on Twitter looking for some participants who wanted to be a part of it. We got a great group of people and they will be on the call as well. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Here is your favorite safety from the Houston Texans, Justin Reid. Okay, joining us now, Justin Reid from your Houston Texans. Justin, how are you all quarantined and queued up there at home?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain too much. I'm starting to get used to kind of what feels like the new normal with the whole quarantine situation going on. So I'm all good.
Well, what's it been like? Like, what's your typical day? What do you miss the most? What's the hardest part of all this?
Definitely just the personal contact with people, my friends. My weekly schedule is kind of living a loop the same day. I wake up early, I go and get some rehab done on my shoulder and my wrists, and I go in, train on the field, working out just like garages and backyards, kind of where we can, get some work in, come back home, do a couple of things around the house, and then start doing some school work because I'm still enrolled in school right now. We're on a quarter system, so I've noticed a lot of people graduating right now, which I'm excited for. But I still got a couple weeks left myself before I get to that point. But aside from that, it's really like I'm living the same day over and over. Sometimes I have to remind myself what day of the week it is.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I guess you can totally relate to these kids out there. I mean, my kids are doing schools online, whether you're a kindergartner or whether you're a high schooler or a college student, kind of doing this whole thing in a whole new way. I mean, I'm sure you appreciate and look back on how it used to be and just.
Yeah, it's definitely very different. And myself personally, I'm an in-class type of guy. So doing online school has definitely had its challenges, but just getting used to it and finding my routine to get through it.
I find so many athletes, we've done 6 or 7 of these queued up episodes now, and everyone has been so active in the community. And I know you have been as well. You've been doing some things with kids' meals. Tell us a little bit about those and why that's important to you.
Yeah, I'm big on philanthropy. So I work a lot with kids' meals. went and built some meals over there a couple of weeks back, did a donation with them. An awesome organization with their mission being to serve the kids of Houston, especially kids 0 to 6, because they're a little bit of a forgotten demographic, because they don't get at least a school meal since they're not enrolled in school yet. But with schools being shut down, they've actually expanded from that 0 to 6 age range all the way up to 0 to 18 years old. You know what I mean? So their meals have gone up from about 3,000 to 7,100. So they definitely needed the help, and the community has really done a great job responding with resources in whatever way, just people coming out and donating time, money, or whatever way they want to get out in the community. That's been a big deal. A couple of days ago, Alex Bredman did this really cool 24-hour Twitch to benefit the Houston Food Bank that I got to join in on for an hour. And also with the candle lighters out of Houston that focuses on children with childhood cancer and those challenges, especially with what's going on with the pandemic, because they're a little bit of an at-risk population.
Well, and you've worked with candle lighters for a while now. And in fact, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity. One of your teammates, Cullen Gillespie, is partnered with Energy Ogre. And Cullen has a little message. They want to make a little donation to your cause. Check this out.
What's up, Justin? What's up, Patty? It's Cullen Gillespie. Justin, we're pretty familiarly acquainted. But I appreciate y'all having me on as always. Justin, I love what you're doing with candle lighters. You told me a little bit more about it today. The fact that you're helping families who have children with childhood cancer, it's an amazing thing. So on behalf of myself and Energy Ogre, we'd like to help contribute to that campaign. And I'm looking forward to this season, man. Again, I love what you're doing with candle lighters. And let's go make some plays this season.
Well, yeah, man, Cullen's a great guy. And Cullen, I really appreciate you and Energy Ogre. That's an awesome thing that you guys are doing for candle lighters, and I know they can really appreciate it.
All right. So, you mentioned Alex Bregman and kind of jumping in on his deal he did on Twitch the other day. And we had Alex on a couple weeks ago, and Paul Wall came on. And, what's really cool to see is not only fellow teammates helping each other out in causes like Cullen just did here, but you guys crossing over into the other sports. The Texans support the Astros support the Rockets, and then you even get some of the Houston rap scene involved. It's kind of cool as a community that you guys all support each other.
Yeah, we're all playing on the same team right now. We're all here for the city of Houston. And I think it's awesome just seeing people from different backgrounds, different sports, different demographics all coming together to unite to really just try and help people who are the most affected in this pandemic make it to the other side. I think that's awesome.
Very cool indeed. The NFL schedule came out a couple weeks ago, and have you even thought, and we'll get to the schedule in just a little bit, but have you even thought about, I know you have, with sports and the potential, who knows, you guys have been affected the least of the sports because none of your games have been canceled yet. Hopefully you start in September on schedule, but who knows what it's going to look like playing to potentially empty stadiums or just the
Right. It's funny that you mentioned that because it is really interesting. The UFC has come back and have done their fights without fans. Then you have the Korean League where they've done it with some posters out in the stadium to make it feel like there's some people there. I've heard a couple of different things. I think the most interesting thing that's going to happen is what's going to happen with the NBA and the MLB is going to set the precedent for what the NFL is going to do following. And I have no idea what that's going to be. As far as my approach to it is, I just approach it like we're going to start the season on time and whatever happens, happens. But whenever our card is called, I just want to be prepared for when that day comes.
Well, and you have been preparing. You alluded to the fact that you've been working on your shoulder. You had the torn labrum. I've had that. I know it's no fun.
Yeah.
Your rehab, how you're doing, and where you stand at this point.
I actually feel the best I've felt in a long time. I actually got to start bench pressing again about a week ago, which I haven't bench pressed since my wrist injury my rookie year. So I've been really excited about how the team has done a good job taking care of me, the resources with the medical center. And I'm not too far away from being officially cleared from my shoulder. Not that right now we're in a rush anyway. The only good thing, quote unquote, good thing about what's happening right now is that it's just really allowed injured guys to really focus on our rehabilitation and just getting back fully healthy without having to rush a timeline.
Well, and you battled that really all season. When did you do that? In the preseason last year? In a preseason
Yeah,
game?
I did it around training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did training camp.
Tough. I don't know how you played through that, but can you kind of tell us how much pain you were in, and then looking forward to that, knowing that if you're actually going to be able to go into a season this year, your third season, what a jump you possibly make with a healthy shoulder.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. There was a learning curve to it for sure. The first couple of games hurt the most just because I had to learn, and there's no other way to really practice and know what your limits are except by being thrown in the fire and kind of feeling it out. So the first couple of games, I was going down almost every game, sometimes twice a game, and then I started learning what movements hurt and what movements didn't hurt. And I started having to adjust my play style to well, maybe I can make this tackle this way and avoid putting my shoulder in a compromised position. Now, of course, the game of football is very fast. Sometimes when it's just like it's you, me, or a touchdown, there's no choice but, I got to put my body on the line in order to make this play. In those situations, I did that. But for the most part, I was able to adjust my play style to where it didn't hurt all the time, especially in the second half of the season. But going and looking forward to this season, it's definitely a very exciting feeling. It just feels very different, just internally, just the way that I approach it, the way that I see myself contributing to the team, to what I know I'll be able to do from what I did last year, not feeling 100% the whole year, really just struggling to just try and make it through the whole season so I can continue to help the team, to now to where it's like I don't even have to think about the injury. I can play in the very aggressive style that I like to play without having to think about hurting myself. I see myself making a big leap in my performance on the field and what I'll be able to do to help our team win.
Well, and your teammates, your coaches already have all the confidence in the world of you in you. You won the Ed Block Courage Award, which is nominated and voted on by your teammates. What did that mean to you? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. That's a huge deal. It's the only award in the entire league that's voted on purely by your teammates and your peers. And, for my teammates to have that type of respect for me and confidence in me to show up, it's a great feeling. It's very humbling. And it's just honored that they think of me that way. And, they know I got their back and I know they have my back.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about your teammates and specifically that secondary. Very different looking secondary this year going in. First of all, we have to start with, the guy that probably near and dear to both of our hearts. I know he was mine, and that's Jonathan Joseph and losing him. But such a leader back there, and I don't know really what he meant to you, but kind of just talk about the loss of him and then having to face him.
Yeah. J-Joe is my guy, man. He really came in right from when I got here. He took me under his wing. Was teaching me just the differences between college ball and NFL, tendencies that you can really pick up across teams. Man, I was really like a student behind him because anytime J-Joe said anything, especially my rookie year, I was writing everything he said down. I was taking notes on it. And he liked that I did that. So because I did that, he would even share more information on me. Like I have a whole page of notes just on things J-Joe told me in the first 2 years of me being here. So he's an awesome teammate, great player. I know he's very close to beating that PBU record. I think he needs 8 more this season, so I'm rooting for him, in every game that he isn't playing us, But it's definitely going to be really cool to be able to still see him twice a year, see him suit up and do his thing, even though it's for the Titans. So great guy, great teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. Tayshaun Gibson also out, but enter Eric Murray. I don't know, how much you know about him but what's your thought on what Eric brings? Eric comes here from the Browns. What does he bring?
Yeah, definitely an athletic player. Good guy, not going to have any off the field problems. I actually trained with him 2 years ago in Arizona for a couple of days. So I met him briefly over there, and we've been trying to catch up more throughout these Zoom meetings. It's not really the same as being able to hang out with them in real life. But him, Michael Thomas, who we also recently brought in, who's the hometown kid as well, I know they're both excited to be able to come here. We're putting in a bunch of new defensive schemes that they have a lot of familiarity with. So I know they're going to be excited for the opportunity to come in and perform.
Defensive schemes because of new personnel, but probably a new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver. Anthony, not new to the organization. You know, boy, as a player, it feels like I was just yesterday. But you know, he's got a lot of confidence in you. Already talking about you being a leader, but just your thoughts on Anthony and what he's going to bring.
Yeah, Coach Weave. He has experience as a player. He has experience as a coach, playing in different schemes. He knows how to speak to everyone in the building. Has a respect of everyone in the building. He's really been, and I'm really excited about what he brings to us as a defensive coordinator, just because of the new schemes he's putting in to put guys in different positions, but also allowing us to just make more plays. That's kind of been more of the theme, is we want to make more plays, take the ball away, get more picks. And he's really driving that home and been doing an awesome job communicating with the rest of his coaches on the defensive side of the ball on how we're going to do our new schemes in order to create new opportunities. I'm really excited about it. I think that he is perfect for the job, and I couldn't be happier with OB bringing him up to be the DC.
What about your brother? I know you've lobbied a little bit. For those that don't know, your brother Eric, what is he, 5 years older than you maybe?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years older. With the Niners, with the Panthers. You had a chance to face him last year, but you've lobbied to get him back there. Is that even an option?
I'm still trying to throw a nugget in every once in a while. So, we can still bring him in, That would be the coolest thing that might ever happen in my life if I got to play on the same field as him. I mean, it was really cool playing against him last year. I was on my feet the whole game, watching him play and then being on the field myself. But playing alongside him would truly be special. And I don't think you'd be able to recreate that type of chemistry you'd have between two brothers who are both starting caliber players playing on the same field, because I would go to his house and he'd come to mine literally every day. Sometimes guys might be like, well, I have this family thing, or, when I go have dinner, which is fine. But shoot, I'll be at the dinner table with them. We'll still be talking about ball over dinner, So that would just be a really cool situation. And he's still training. I don't know if you guys seen any videos and anything. He's a big guy. Got about 10 pounds on me. But that would be really cool. But it's up to the guys upstairs to make that decision. And I'll let them do that. I'll let them do their job.
He's a little older. He's a little bigger. I'm guessing you're probably a little bit faster, but how can
I'm a little bit faster. I hold that over his head, but I know I won't beat him in the arm wrestling competition.
competitive were you guys growing up?
Oh, immensely. Huge. I mean, it was everything. I mean, even if it was video games, we had some friends down the street. That was Scott and Cedric. And Scott was Eric's age. Cedric was about my age. And what we do is we switch. So me and Scott will be on the team. Eric and Cedric will be on the team. We run 2-on-2 basketball, do all types of different competitive things. Even with video games, they would tear me up at first. I would spend hours going through the manual and just learning every move in the book to try and keep up with them. But that competitive spirit is what really drove me to a lot of my success, because they pushed me in the same way that they pushed me. They were also trying to widen the gap as I was trying to close the gap. You know what I mean? And that type of competition, iron sharpens iron.
No doubt. And so your brother obviously won, but as a kid, who was your favorite athlete, or who'd you look up to?
When I was a very young kid, I grew up playing soccer. So my favorite athletes was like Ronaldinho. Even still today, I still like watching Messi. As far as the football side, it was Sean Taylor and Brian Dawkins, two legendary safeties. I mean, I was watching Brian Dawkins highlights about a month ago just to watch how he moved, his attitude, his swagger. You know what I mean? That type of energy that he brought to his team, Weapon X, that excitement. You know what I mean? I want to bring that type of energy too.
I've seen you kick a soccer ball through a goalpost. Did you ever consider playing soccer?
Yeah. I always said if I was born in another country, I'd probably be playing soccer right now if I was born in Europe or something. I'm still hoping I get the chance to kick a field goal, because I actually have some kicking experience. I was a kicker in high school. I was an emergency kicker in college. We'll see if I can keep pushing Coach Seeley to let me get one in the preseason if we're able to have one.
All right, so let's talk a little schedule. Schedule came out just recently here. You guys have a tough road to hoe. Those first 4 games, you're looking at the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Vikings. Just your thoughts when you saw the schedule.
Yeah, testing our waters early, but for true competitors like we have on our team, I mean, that's exactly what you want. Right from the get-go, you're going to be able to test your manhood, know exactly where we stand, especially the first game of the year against the Kansas City Chiefs. I couldn't like, that's exactly what I was hoping for, was be able to have a rematch against them, because it's always been fireworks every time we've played each other. And, you know, that feeling, that bitter taste in my mouth from the first time we played in the playoffs, still there, and still, I can still taste it very well, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to be able to dish some of that myself.
Yeah, I saw that you had said in your article you did with The Athletic, yeah, you were mad about it. You still think about it. That's the last game you played, that, you know, being down by 24. You know, can you give us some sense of, not to relive it or anything, but
Yeah.
what that was like? You guys went into that game and just were dominating. Like, you're on your way.
That is the epitome of a roller coaster emotionally, because you're riding on the highest high, up here. We're winning. We're shutting them out. They can't do anything. Everything is going our way. And then at the flip of a switch, everything just turned on its head, you know, and then going in at halftime, we're down by a point, you know. So it definitely was a huge momentum swing. And with that being said, it's just being more of a finishing team, you know what I mean? Like keeping that momentum going for a full 60 minutes. I still relive those moments, and I'm happy that I do, because those moments and that feeling of like even anger, disappointment, all of these feelings mixed together at once is really what drove me and motivated me. And I'm already highly self-motivated, but that extra push that I get from just, you know, I can feel it right now, just thinking about that game is really what pushed me to work so hard this offseason to really come back and make a huge impact, and for us to want to go out and chase our dreams and win a championship ourselves.
What's it like, or do you prepare any different on your side of the ball when you're facing a guy like Pat Mahomes?
No, Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I treat them all the same as far as my preparation, because my preparation is very consistent. I'm going to dissect what are his best attributes, what are his talents. As far as he's very elusive, he gets out of the pocket easily, and then he has 4 receivers around him that all run 4-2, and they are able to stretch the field downfield. So some of the biggest things is just being able to contain that. You know what I mean? Don't let him be that guy who can scramble all day. That's what really hurt us in the playoffs last year, was where we was able to start getting out of the pocket more. So I dissect every opponent that we face, look at their biggest strengths, look at their weaknesses, force them to beat us using their weaknesses. Don't give in to their strengths.
You know, I want to just go back and backtrack a little bit, because I think you're a Stanford guy. You came out of there, you had before the draft, you had a great combine. Everybody thought you were going to be a first or a second round pick. You were the first pick of the Texans that year, but albeit in the 3rd round. Can you kind of just take us through that draft for you and kind of what was going through your mind? And then probably another roller coaster of emotions, how you were with where you landed.
Mm-hmm. Everything that I heard leading up to the draft was I'm either going to go day 1 or early day 2. That's what I heard the whole time. And then that's not exactly how it happened. So I came in, the 1st round goes by. I was like, okay, I knew that there's a chance that, even though I was ranked to go that way, I knew there's a chance that, things happen that I might not go first. But then the 2nd round goes by, start really kind of questioning what's happening. I mean, why am I falling? Why am I falling? You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, but by the time that your name actually gets called, it's really still a wave of relief. You know what I mean? In the moment, you just can't help but just be excited and happy that your name finally did get called, because there's a bunch of guys whose names don't, So I had about 200 people over at the house. Wasn't feeling too happy leading up to the point, but after my name got called, it was still a party. It was just fun to have all my loved ones around me and be able to share that moment with me. But as soon as all the celebration and everything wore off, you know what I mean, and it was time to get back to work, it was definitely a point of motivation that I was going to make every team that skipped over me remember their mistake every time I played them. You know what I mean? I kept that chip on my shoulder, and that just goes back to things that motivate me. That's what really motivated me early on my rookie year. Now, I think a bunch of teams have started to get the memo, although there's a couple of that still need to be served. But what motivates me more now than ever is just to be the best. You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of moved on from that and going on to I'm creating my legacy right now, and that's really been another big piece and chip on my shoulder that's been motivating me.
All right. Well, no more chips on your shoulders. We don't want any more shoulder surgeries. So let's just think of a new name.
Yeah.
Legacy. What is that? What's the legacy you're trying to create?
I think it's still being written, and I'm not going to try and put a script on it because things don't ever go as planned anyway. But I do know a couple of things that I want to be known for. I want to be known for being a guy who was relentless, a guy who showed up every Sunday, a guy that my teammates can consistently rely on. He's going to know the calls, know the playbook. He's going to have my back. If I know in the playbook it says he's going to be here, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make that play. If I told you I got you over the top, I got you. You don't even got to worry about it. I don't want to be a player that's known for in big-time situations, I'm going to show up. You know what I mean? I'm going to let the rest of the script just write itself.
Well, and that's a big, broad picture. That's a big script. What about a more finite? What about the season? Do you set goals for yourself going into an individual season? Obviously, they might be specific with coming off a shoulder injury here, but do you set goals? And if you do, what are they?
Yeah. Every year I come in, first one that I try and set is just 100% healthy, and that has to do with my rehabilitation, stretching every night, making sure that I do the things that help increase my chances of staying healthy through the whole season. I don't try and put a goal that says I want 4 picks or 5 picks or 6 picks, because I think that leads to a mentality of chasing plays, which chasing plays get you beat sometimes. You know what I mean? You might make 1 play, you might give up 2. Instead, I say for every play and every opportunity that comes my way, I want to make it. So if I have the chance to catch 5 balls, I want to catch all 5 of them. You know what I mean? That's the way that I look at interceptions. And as far as tackles, I really don't want to miss any. You know what I mean? I want to be known as a great tackler. It's become a little bit of a lost art, especially with the rule changes and how we don't get to practice it as much in practice. But I want to be known as a dude who doesn't miss tackles.
Well, and I can think of one specific one that you didn't miss, and it was that big stop in London to save the game for the Texans. And you've had a number of big moments already in your early career, but if you had to pick one, what stands out? What's been the highlight for you so far? The coolest big play moment. It's gotta be the first one from Washington. Flip the script of the game. It was my very first pick 6 in the NFL. It ended up being the second longest in NFL history. The longest being 103. Mine was 101. That moment right there. I mean, even Deshaun came off the sideline and hopped in the group photo in the end zone. That one was definitely the coolest. My rookie year. And then my second favorite is Whitney's, and it might have been my favorite if he made it to the end zone. It's a play against Tennessee on the goal line, where I was able to pop it out. Whitney caught it and took it about 86 yards. To the other side of the field. That was also really, really cool. Just run out of gas.
Yeah.
You once said, pay no mind to the opinions of people that you wouldn't take advice from. I love that, but what's the best piece of advice anybody's ever given you?
Best piece of advice anyone's ever given me? Gosh, I've had so many mentors help kind of give me advice along the way. So many big brothers kind of put their arm around me. Some of my favorite ones were one that my dad always taught me. And this is when I was growing up, was if it's worth doing, it's worth doing 100%. Like anything that you do, you don't do half-ass. You know what I mean? If you're going to do it, you're going to do it to the best of your ability, because you're putting your signature on your work at all times. And you want to be known for, if someone asks or requests you to do something, you're going to put out quality work. Another thing that one of my DB coaches taught me in college was always be the hardest working player in the room. Because when you're one of the most talented players in the room and you're also the most hardworking, then that becomes infectious and contagious to everyone else in the room. It sets the standard, and that's going to make everyone better. You know what I mean? That's what leads to championships.
All right, before I get to, we've got some fans on here that have joined us on this call. We've got some questions from them, but I think I know you are. You're a bit of a fashionista. In fact, one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah.
Because you're standing on the red carpet there at Sports Awards in front of that Mercedes, like looking.
Oh yeah.
Is fashion a big deal to you? And who's the best dressed player on the Texans?
Yeah, I started getting into a little bit more of fashion. It's funny, the last couple of years, it feels like the pregame outfits have become a little bit of like a runway show. I gotta give it to the Texans linebackers on the best fits as far as the fashion is, because they come coordinated. They come 4 or 5 deep. They had the Men in Black one time. They had the dodgeball team one time, the Ninja Turtles. That's really cool that those guys coordinate that every week. It's fun seeing their outfits. But yeah, I started diving into the fashion scene a little bit. It really comes from, gosh, you should have seen how bad it was when I was in high school. It's all like no fashion sense at all. And then the script just finally flipped one day.
Yeah. Well, that's why the Rock Boys let you sit at their table at Sports Awards, because you were dressed up to them.
I was dressed for the scene. I had to dress to impress.
Let's open it up a little bit for some questions from our audience out here. Our first one, Alzamayan has got a question from you. He is from Mexico. Alzamayan, how are you?
What's going on, buddy?
Right. What's up, Justin?
What's going on, bro? How are you?
All right. Kind of a two-part question. Since the departure of Hop, the national media and pretty much written us off. Seems to me they forgot that D4 is our quarterback.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little about the confidence he instills in the team? Also, could you give a shout out to my son, AJ?
Yeah, let me start with the shout out. Hey, shout out AJ. What's going on, man? Justin Reid from the Texans. I want to give a shout out to you real quick, man. Hope you're doing well.
Appreciate
Now,
that.
as far as the national media situation, I have never paid attention to the national media, because even when we did have Hop here, they still wrote us off every year. Every year they'd say that we're going to come last place or second to last place in the division. Well, 5 out of the last 6 years we won the division. So I don't pay any mind to that first and foremost anyway. And then, yeah, losing Hop is irreplaceable. Hop is a generational player. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say we can replace him, but that load is going to be split up and shared. We still have playmakers across the field. The type of team that we have in the unity with Defoe at quarterback, which anytime you have him at quarterback, we're always going to have a chance. But also the other playmakers that we have on the defensive side of the ball, offensively, being able to just spread the ball out more instead of being as one-dimensional, I think that's going to create opportunities. And I don't think you can write the script before the story's even put out yet.
All right, let's go to Zane. Zane, where are you, Zane?
Hey, Justin. First of all, I want to say thank you for your time, because
No problem,
I've been real
bro.
interested in hearing you talk about, what motivates you and such. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask because, it's probably a question you've been asked a bunch before, but still I find it interesting. Was there ever a moment in your first 2 years, talking to someone or play on the field where you realized this isn't high school, this isn't college, this is the NFL?
This is the NFL.
NFL moment.
The NFL moment, though. Welcome to the NFL moment.
Usually they
Let me think about that one for a second. Shoot, it didn't come soon. I'll say one of the first times that happened. Let me think back to my rookie year. Who did we play early on? We had the Dallas game early on. Yeah, some of these jokers are just really big. I mean, even the first time that I tackled Derrick Henry, and he's like 250 pounds, I was like, yeah, there's nobody I've ever tackled that is as massive as this human being. You know what I mean? So that was a big welcome to the NFL moment. But I've always been a fan of attacking challenges and stuff. I might have to think about that one a little bit more.
All right, we'll think about that one. We'll come back to it. Let's head over to Steven. Steven, what do you have?
Hey, I just want to say, Justin, I want to say thank you. I'm actually the gutter guy's dad, and you did something very special for him, and you didn't want no social media, and I really appreciate that. We are season ticket holders, and you will see him. You are our favorite player now, and we're gonna be out there wearing the Reid jersey, watching the game, man. Because what you did for my son was pretty awesome. He's here with his son right now at the beach, and just thank you very much, man.
100%, man. I'm really excited for him, man. He came and talked to me, and I heard his story, and I'm rooting for him and his brother to go out and chase their dreams, and I just want to be able to help them out with that. It's really cool. I appreciate that.
All right, awesome. Does anybody else have anything? Raise your hand, or else we're going to let Justin go.
Let's hit it.
Hi, Justin. This is Armando, and this is my family from Mexico.
What's going on, everybody?
We're part of the fan club Somos Texans Mexico, and we want to let you know that we support you. We love the Houston Texans. We do watch parties every game, and we remember your pick six that you mentioned. So my question is, obviously you have a leader role now with the team. As a young player, I mean, how does it feel to have this type of role? And the second part, if you can say hi to all your fans here in Mexico.
Yeah, hello to everyone first and foremost in Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Sí, yo entiendo un poquito de español. Pero it's definitely exciting to finally step into a leadership role. It's something you have to earn your stripes first. You come in your first couple of years, you really learn the system. You just try and do everything right. And at the moment it is now, it's kind of feels like it's time to take that next step and become a voice on the defense, become a consistent leader on a team that guys can look to and just know that this is going to be the standard that we're going to go and play with. It's very cool, and it's very I feel very honored to be in the position that I'm in. And I just can't tell you how excited I am to finally get back into the building whenever we finally do and be able to start just being with the fellas and talking to them about, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. These are the standards we're going to live by, and this is how we're going to win. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. We're here to win. So it's definitely very, very exciting.
Your Espanol is muy impressive. That was
Gracias.
All right, we got another one over here. Kat, what's your question, Kat?
Hey, Justin. Thank you for joining us. My question is more quarantine-oriented. I just wanted to see if you have picked up any new hobbies or have tried any new things that you've been wanting to try, but you haven't had the time to until now.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I taught myself how to play the piano in this time. So it's something, I think piano is the coolest instrument ever. I was really motivated because I wanted to learn to play a song for one of my brother's weddings that was supposed to be coming up next month, but it's being pushed back a year. So I guess it gives me a little bit more time to practice. But I've been using this app called Simply Piano. I've really gotten to dial into it. I learned how to play All of Me by John Legend. I was really excited about that. So that's been a fun hobby that I've picked up.
Are you on a laptop right now or your phone? What are you talking to us on?
I'm on a laptop.
Can you pick it up and take it over to the piano and show us?
Yeah, I could do a little bit. I can't not play it after I said that. Let's see. Set up. Let's see if I can put this in. I messed up that last note, but just a little taste.
Someone else on the team plays the piano. Who is it?
Keon plays the piano a little bit. Zach has some real talent singing and playing the guitar. I'm not sure who else plays the piano.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if Peter, if you're still on there, Peter has a question that I don't even know if I should let this one go, but Peter, if you're there, I'm going to let you ask Justin.
What is it? That was beautiful. First of all,
Hey, Justin.
it's good to see you again. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
My crazy husband.
Hey, so at what point do you start getting really itchy to pop somebody and hit somebody?
What? That's your
It's
question?
really a switch, you know, because I'm normally a very, very cool, calm guy, you know, and then it's that moment. It comes out when I'm in the weight room, and it comes out when I step on the field, and sometimes when I'm just talking about football. Like you flip that switch, and it's like, man, it's nothing personal. Like I don't even see a name. It's just, okay, this is a target. You know what I mean? This time it's time to go play and make a play.
Truth be told, you know what his question really was that he typed in the message board here? How are you doing with the toilet paper supply?
You know, I was on thin ice for a solid week to where I was trying to measure. It's like, okay, I can't go too often. Every time I go to the store, they don't have any. But actually, my teammate Whitney Merciless came through for me. Shout out Whit, and gave me a couple of rolls to hold me over until I was able to go get some more when the store had a supply.
Well, you just never know where these questions are going to go. The old Justin, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, again, thank you so much, Justin, and thank you to our studio audience. Hey, for those of you that would like to be a part of the audience for a future show, well, just go ahead to our Twitter page, our Instagram, or the Facebook page. Like us, follow us, retweet, share anything. That automatically will enter you to win the chance to do this on a future show. Anyway, for those of you that have been waiting eagerly for our Gaming Together campaign and sending in your videos in partnership with the Houston Outlaws, here are this week's favorites.
You didn't think I had that in me, did you?
Man, you're getting a lot better at this game. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to get serious.
Right.
All right, flip it.
It is really satisfying.
Currently listening, watching 90s music videos, and playing Uno. Oh, look what he just put down. Oh, stinker.
All right, great stuff. Keep those videos coming. #gaming together. That's going to do it for this week's show. We look forward to seeing you next week on Queued Up.